Angry, the Queen snubbed Harry and Meghan. Fergie steps up to replace the Sussexes. The Queen tells Fergie, "You're a royal again." Following her scandal-plagued separation and eventual divorce from Prince Andrew, Sarah Fergie Ferguson was promptly cast out of the royal family. In fact, the late Prince Philip reportedly avoided contact with his former daughter-in-law entirely after she was sensationally pictured having her toes sucked by American financier John Bryant in 1992. But almost 30 years later, and with Philip having passed, Fergie is back in the family fold. Recently, she was invited by the Queen to join the royals on their holiday at Balmoral. Sources now say more official royal appearances could be on the cards. Indeed, it's believed that the Queen plans on giving Fergie, who was allowed to keep her Duchess of York title after her divorce, some of the patronages once held by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The Sussexes no doubt won't like hearing that, claims a source. Clearly thrilled to be back in Her Majesty's good books, Fergie, 61, called the Queen her greatest mentor and the person who believes in me. In a new interview with Twiggy, "I think to myself that, honestly, my mother-in-law has been more of a mother than to me," she said. Fergie's mother, Susan Barantes, left when Fergie was a girl to move to Argentina with her second husband, polo player Hector Barrentes. She died in a car crash in 1998. Fergie also praised the Queen's forgiving nature, gushing, "I absolutely admire the incredible way Her Majesty is so modern and how flexible and how understanding and how forgiving and how generous." Meanwhile, Meghan Markle flees to New York. She's taking a bite out of the Big Apple to kickstart her political career. Meghan Markle had a clear vision when she relocated her family back to her old California stomping ground last year. As the newly crowned Duchess of Sussex, the former actress and LA native planned to rule over Hollywood, a town that once barely looked twice at her. However, due to the pandemic and widespread distaste among the LA elite for the way Meghan and her husband, Prince Harry, have publicly dissed the royal family, it hasn't been quite the glorious homecoming that she envisaged. Now, with her plans to conquer Hollywood dead in the water, enterprising Meghan has set her eyes on a new prize, moving to New York City to maintain a residential address that would allow her to make political inroads in Manhattan. It's long been reported that Meghan has ambitions to be president of the United States. A political insider with close ties to the current vice president of the U.S., Kamala Harris, tells New Idea that Meghan could be starting her journey to the White House by running for Congress, not just in her native California. She won't get elected in her district, which is very centrist, and Meghan is seen as super woke, says the insider. The current advice is for her to get a place in New York so she can run for Congress, where voters are more likely to go for young, confident, socialist-leaning women. I see her running for New York's 12th district, which covers the neighborhoods like the glamorous Upper East Side. A second source close to Meghan adds, "This is totally something I see her doing. In fact, she's probably already flown over to scout apartments there. She adores New York and has always dreamt of having a place there. Ideally, Meghan and Harry are looking for a family-friendly, flawless penthouse to accommodate their children, Archie and Lilibet." Money is no problem, obviously. They have their mansion in Montecito as collateral and Harry's $54 million book deal advance a deposit ready to go. So spending upwards of $100 million is nothing, dishes the source. I could see Meghan jumping at an opportunity to move to the big city and start her political career. She's finding it harder to break into the LA scene than she thought. Right now, she's sort of marooned out there in Montecito doing Zooms when she really wants to be able to do something more tangible. On the other hand, we found an issue. Harry and his wife are criticized for taking money from the royal family and also criticized for making money in the American media. Firstly, they're clearly living beyond their means, and if they aren't, they don't need to be funded by the royal family. Harry has many millions that he inherited from his grandmother, his mother, and now his grandfather as well. Had Harry not bought such a ridiculously expensive mansion for his greedy narcissist wife, he wouldn't need to work, ever. But he is welcome to work and make money in the U.S. In itself, this is not a problem. It is slightly problematic that one of the jobs he landed in the field of mental health, wouldn't you say? Especially since he didn't even know how to help Meghan when she was supposedly considering suicide, and this is after he started Heads Together, a mental health initiative in the UK. But okay, whatever. Finally, if Harry has to make money, so be it, but it should not come at the expense of his family. And this is exactly where the problem lies. He's making money by airing his emotional issues in public. These are the issues that are not for public consumption. But because he's shacked up with a narcissist wife with revenge towards the British royal family on her mind, this is exactly what she's been encouraging Harry to do. Sharing his pain, sharing his feelings, sharing what he's learned from the past, sharing it with the whole wide world, and getting paid for it. Meghan gets her revenge and Harry gets the money. No, just no. What you actually mean is, how will they earn enough money to live in the style they believe they should be accustomed to? They live in a $14 million house. They could have bought a very nice $2 million one and still been left with far more money in the bank than most people will see in a lifetime. They could have lived quietly but extremely comfortably for the rest of their lives. They are no more entitled to an ultra-luxurious lifestyle than you or I or anybody else on the planet. In fact, given the amount of real work that the duo have done in their lifetime, they are considerably less entitled. They should have at least 30 working years between them. In that time, Harry spent a few years in the army and did a few odd jobs for the royal family and the British public, which he subsequently moaned about. And she opened some boxes on a TV show, semi-starred in a TV series, and then flew off to a third world for a week to speechify. Not exactly the Clooneys or the Obamas, are they? In fact, Harry's status as the grandson of the Queen means that they will never have to worry financially. Some fool will always throw money in their direction or loan them a private jet. The problem is that Meghan will always want more. She regards her rightful place as being at the top of the celebrity super rich firmament. A foundation is super rich status symbol, and that takes megabucks. I don't believe that Meghan and Harry were criticized for taking money from the royal family initially. They had 1 year probationary period where the royal family would continue to support them until they got established. The criticism actually came from Meghan and Harry, who felt they were entitled to continue receiving payment from the royal family even after they made their choice to remain in LA. They treated it as an allowance from Charles rather than payment for work performed as royals. As for making money in the American media, no criticism there either until their choice for earning money was to profit by trashing the royal family. Allegedly, they were to produce podcasts and fulfill their Netflix obligations. Instead, they did interviews with James Corden, Dax Shepard, and Oprah, where they again trashed the royal family. Finding Freedom was a bust. The bench received harsh criticism and sales were bleak. Harry's wife runs a shopping channel out of a $14 million mansion, but it appears the only lucrative prospect for them is to use the royal family to make money. They have to work at being associated with the royal family because without that, they are nothing.